So I'm green today inside 5 new Apex accounts. As you probably have heard on the internet, Apex changed their whole background. They're offering new accounts, and a bunch of people in my communities are like, hey, Brad, can you get in and show every single day, not just your trade recaps, but from day one of starting the account until you pass? In this video, I will pretty much tell you exactly what I'm doing. I don't need to give signals. I don't need to even tell my Discord community when I'm in and out of trades. My strategy is so locked in that if you watch the charts, you're going to say to yourself, Brad is in that trade. I got into 5 25K accounts. Now, I will say, without going into too much detail about the changes, I'm sure you've done that research, but with my risk level and the fact that I am only trading micros and Apex getting rid of the reoccurring billing, because it would take me more than 30 days to pass sometimes. So now with that hard stop at 30 days, the only thing I can really trade and know that I'm going to pass is the 25K accounts. So that's why I've gone down to the 25K accounts. Really, the end of day drawdown that everyone's really happy about, that doesn't affect me either because I have a hard stop at $250 loss per day. And yeah, so I don't really need to worry about trailing drawdowns, end of day drawdowns. I don't need to worry about any of those things because I have a hard stop loss and I manage risk well. And really, that is the reason why I can be so successful. Let's dive down into the charts. I'll show you the 2 trades I took today, some things I'm thinking about, a brief look at the strategy, and then we'll just work our way into tomorrow. Okay, now I know there's a lot on the screen here, so I'm going to work through a couple things. We can see I am group trading 5 accounts here. Right now I'm at $201, so this is day one. So I had a profitable day of $201.76 across all 5 accounts. So that's roughly $1,000. I am trading the micro down with 1 to 3 contracts. I will explain how I scale in, scale out, and how I take my exact stop losses. What you're looking at on the screen is a volume profile. That's the 2 shaded areas. The lighter shade is the volume profile from the opening start of the session last night at 6 p.m. And then the cash session is just a little bit lighter, just so I can really look at those. The other things I've marked on my chart will be the high and the low of the previous session. That allows me to see if we are out of yesterday's range, inside yesterday's range, because I'm working a mean reversion strategy, and knowing that high and low from the previous session, very, very important to me. I also like the point of control, okay, the volume point of control, VPOC, some people like to call it, from the previous day's session. That gives me a little bit of entry and exit and actually gives me confirmation and is a part of the trade I took today. Everything else is just VWAP with 2 standard deviations on those VWAP bands. I don't have any other volumes. I don't have DOMs. I don't have level 2s. Like I said, this is very, very easy for me. We will see a couple numbers up here that I just like to keep on my charts. If you trade on Trade and you group trade, you are not allowed to do OCO orders. So I always remind myself, close out trades. I just want that on there. Exit, market close, everything after each trade. So many times I've left standing orders out there and they hit later in the day and I got liquidated. The next thing that I tell myself is after the first trade, I had a really good first trade, you're green. So only 2s, you'll see what that means in just a second. And then my stop loss, which is 126 points, is my max stop loss, which I'll also talk about. That is based on the 7-day ATR. So I like to use that 7-day ATR not only for when I'm green lighted to trade. I am only green lighted to trade if we are at 50% of the ATR for the daily range. And if you don't know what that is, get down in the comments. I need to make some more videos about this strategy, and shout out to the Futures Fanatics and Rod. That's exactly where I learned all that stuff, all this stuff. So you'll see how repetitive that might be if you've followed any of his videos. So that's my max stop loss, which is 20% of the ATR. Now, trading micros allows me to take that larger stop and work. It essentially works out to a 3rd deviation on a VWAP band, if that's the way you want to look at it. Now, with the news last night, guys, we fell right off the open at 6 p.m. And then we kind of just went through this big range. Today is considered a volatile day. I think when we got to the open, we were at 90% of the ATR, which is a very, very high range. And then we started the cash session. I like just to sit on my hands for the first 5 minutes, let these bands really build themselves out and make sure that I know exactly what's going on. Everything is based around the yellow VWAP, and we can see this range here. So that's, I know that color from yesterday's range. Here's the strategy that I do. I am trading 3 micros max. Whether those 3 micros come in at a +2 or a -2 standard deviation, I'm all in for those 3 contracts. The other way I can get to 3 is if we came up out of VWAP, I'm going to take 1 micro contract targeting VWAP back down. And if it continues to go against me, I will add 2 more to be in full size at one of the +2s or -2s. Then I will place my hard stop of 126 points, which is today. It's a dynamic stop above that level of the +2, which I did not need to worry about today. And really that didn't happen. Maybe here at the open it would have happened. I hit the +1. I would have been short there. And then I would have been long here. And then I definitely would have been stopped out, which is why I really like to let those bands kind of grow. We opened up 1030, came down, touched VWAP. I do not go long off of VWAP or off the +1s. I kind of just use those as targets on the way down. And down here, I do not short off the -1 down to the -2. That's just not the game that I personally like to play. So once we consolidated around the +1 here, I was waiting for a play up into -2 to go short 3 contracts, full size. Now with yesterday's point of control, right, the VPOC here from yesterday, that gave an added confirmation for me to go short with a full contract. I was very, very happy with this trade. Now when I got in, we had a volume control at the time, right? The volume control for our day today is going to be moving throughout the day. You might be saying to yourself, where the hell is it, Brad? It is right under yesterday's volume control. So that forms a pretty good level of having it there. So my first target there, so we can use other targets. I'll use the range from yesterday. I'll use yesterday's VPOC from yesterday, and I'll use today's point of control as well. So right here, I took my first contract off for, let me zoom in here. I took my first contract off here for $42, and that's where volume control was. We then continued to pull down. I am not somebody that needs to go to the tick, especially in volatile days, especially on day 1 of evaluation, and especially when I'm really, really green on the day. So I took my second contract off here, and I was like, okay, I will let that third runner go down and try and hit that +1 deviation. Or what I did was I placed my stop at the volume control for that day, which at that time was down here. And then here's my last contract I got stopped. So I took a 42 on this one, a 74, and a 48. Great trade. Very, very happy with it. And then we came down. I said, all right, now here's a situation where some people will take another trade. I personally do not. Some people will wait, and right here on this bounce back up to the +1, they will go short and target VWAP. That's not a part of my particular strategy. I want to see like 2 lines touched, if you will. Like I need to go from line to line. So for me to take short here, I need VWAP to be in play somewhere. I would need this to come all the way down and touch VWAP. Then if we came back up to the +1, that's when I'm going short 1 contract, 33% of my total size. And if I need to, I'm adding the other 60%, 66% when I get up there. But that didn't happen. I was debating because sometimes my trades last a long time. This was a really, really quick day. These are 5-minute candles. We came up to +2, and I was not going to take this trade being up over $100 on the day in each account. But if you trust your system, it's going to work whether you are red or green on the day. So I said to myself, all right, this is still a very, very good setup. It's at the +2s. And that's what I was really saying over here when I wrote in here, you are green, only 2s. That means that even if I came down to VWAP and back up, I was not going to take a +1, -1 trade on the day after being up $100 on the day. Actually, it was like 160, I think, for all these combined. You guys can do the math, whatever that works out to. I'm not too worried about the P&L. But what happened here was I got in, and then frankly, guys, I just got spooked. My first day, I wanted to have a green day. I definitely want to get on here and show you a green day. And point of control and everything was still sitting down here. And I wanted to first take this target here. I targeted the top of this wick to see if we were going to get a wick test and bounce back out of it. We didn't. I hung around. It kind of chopped around. I said to myself, I'm up $200 on the day across 5 accounts. Enough has to be enough at some point. Like I do not want to get myself in a scenario where I try to target this. Now I'm back up here. Like there's a certain point in your day where you have to take your big green day. And for me, that's $200 on an account is a very, very big day. We saw we had another trade here, but just with volume of control right in the middle of that range, slowing things down and having a little bit of wicks up here to slow things down on the way and act as a little bit of support. I just didn't want to participate in the markets anymore for the day. So I took my trades, and that's good. Let's look what this looks like on a big picture, guys. You need to be journaling your trades. I use TradeZilla. That's really the only way to do it, in my opinion. They're offering discounts from time to time. I'll leave a link down in the description. You can click through. If they're offering a discount, you will definitely get it. But we can see this is showing all my trades for the day. We have $1,008, and this is the first trade that we have right now in March, and the first trade inside these evaluations. Just to prove that to you guys, there's nothing down here in February. This is the first day of the evaluation, and I will show you every single day, even if I take no trades. Some things I do love, if you've never seen the software, it does give you a score. Very, very nice. But really what I like going into the day view, and kind of what I'm going to do right now. You can go in and you can add some notes and you can add some screenshots. I'm going to take the screenshots of the trades. I'm going to put them in there. Super valuable when you go back. That's really how you learn things about not taking -1s on a green day, and really when you can go full size and when you can't go full size and things like that. Yeah, I'm done for the day. This is it. Especially at the end of the day with the evals, there are times, people ask me this all the time, there are times during the day, especially late in the day, I try and make a hard stop at 2 p.m. because in evaluations, we need to be flat by the end of the day. And sometimes these trades take a couple hours to develop. If I would have gotten into this trade and stayed in it, I would still be in it now hours later, targeting this this +1 down here. But it's okay to be done for the day, and I don't want to put myself in a position where I have to close a trade that hasn't worked out yet just because it's the end of the day. I also get asked, guys, how I track ATR or where I look that up. I calculate it myself. At the end of the day, I take the daily range, I take the 7-day average. You can find this spreadsheet inside my Discord. If you hop inside the Discord, that link is always down below. This is also how I find that 20% to get my max stop loss. So here's kind of what the evaluations are going to look like. $201.76 on the day. Total P&L for this project is the same because it's day one. I got $1,298 till I pass, and that means with the amount of trading days I have till this evaluation is off, because Apex now does not renew, I got to get myself $56 per day, which sounds low compared to yesterday, compared to today. But I'm going to have red days. I'm going to have days where I can't make any trades. So we'll see what happens. If you have any questions, please, anything about the strat, let me know down in the comments below. It will give me an idea of videos I need to make to explain stuff. Let me know if you're trading evals and how you're doing and what your favorite prop company is. If you'd like to use Apex, there is a code down in the description and the pinned comment. It's always going to get you the best discount, I think 90% off right now. So come mess around with me. Can you pass faster than me? We shall find out. Let's go.